Hello, welcome back to another Splash Pokemon League marquee matchup. We're doing something a little differently this time. We couldn't make schedules for commentary work great, so we're doing a post-battle commentary on the battle. I have not watched this yet because I was too lazy. My co-commentator, Cepherus, with me has, and I don't know anything about it, but he's got some insights, and we're going to do our best to get through it, and Jack could act like he hasn't seen it before, hopefully.
I'm gonna be incredible. You're never gonna. I'm gonna respond exactly the way I'm supposed to.
So, something that I think we should talk about to get things going is just the lead situation. Linnos' team this season is so unbelievably hyper offensive, and then Jellicent, who is not at all that. He actually doesn't seem to fit in at all. I'm noticing that Jesse also brought Shiinotic, which I don't think anyone has brought to a match ever, but his is a lot bulkier.
Hey, there's a first time for everything. So.
Yeah. I don't really know what Shiinotic does other than use Spore. I think it gets like generic fairy moves like Moonblast and Moonlight. I think it might get Rage Powder. It's a mushroom. I don't know for sure
Probably,
though.
Definitely some like Energy Ball, Pollen Puff situation probably, but
Right.
yeah, it's a definitely lives in the bottom of the free agency every single season.
Right.
So.
It's really interesting because Jesse's team is pretty fast, but it's still miserably slow when compared to Linus' team of prankster Pokemon. And then Surge Surfer Raichu, which you can get Electric Train with. What is his name? Darmanitan. Darmanitan is probably Scarf.
Constant
Like,
Scarf.
It's just going to be hard to keep up with. So you feel like you kind of want to go for Trick Room on Bronzong, but you've got other Pokemon like Dragapult and Keldeo who are just pretty quick. And speaking of Keldeo, I just now noticed he can't beat Jellicent. Keldeo can never beat Jellicent in a million years. Jellicent walls that Pokemon to an extreme degree.
Does he have like some kind of Dark Pulse or Shadow Ball situation? I don't actually know.
If I remember correctly, Keldeo's best non-water, non-fighting coverage move is Air Slash.
Just punch him to death. That's so easy.
It is possible. I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna keep things on normal. You think that's an okay idea? We probably should have talked about this ahead of time.
Yeah, I'll keep it on normal. I'd say pause it after every turn just so we can do a little analysis.
So Jesse's going with
the
Articuno Gouging Fire lead.
Darmanitan Thunderous over on Linnos' side. So,
I'll pause right here.
I mean, just like assessing the game state here. I mean, you definitely got Articuno is so especially bulky that I don't think it's threatened by Thunderous necessarily for just this turn one. But as you mentioned, Darmanitan is almost definitely scarfed. So like, you anticipate some really quick action coming up from Linnos' side. Gouging Fire, in theory, could really deal some damage to both of these guys with this attack photosynthesis boost, but it's got to live the turn.
So I spent a lot of time looking at Darmanitan last season. This thing does get Rock Slide, which will certainly OHKO Articuno and hit Gouging Fire for big damage. And more importantly, it has a flinch chance. Jesse has not revealed Covert Cloak on either of these Pokemon, but Gouging Fire definitely doesn't have it. And you're a Prankster Thunder Wave user and a Rock Slide user, and it's Linnos. It's Linnos.
And it's Linnos. That's the long and short of it here. It's Linnos. Well, you may be more salient than you realize.
Oh, please tell me I'm not right. I'm gonna hit the play button. Oh, so we do have the Terra Ground.
We do see a Terra Ground, which is super sick.
Yes. I don't know. I assume that Jay did that just because he wants to avoid the Thunderbolt, which is a perfectly valid reason to Terra Ground there. But it also handles that Rock Slide situation that we were talking about. And he gets the Protect off.
Burning Bulwark.
So
super sick. Yep.
There is the Rock Slide and Wild Bolt Storm. So Thunderous.
Great turn for Jesse. And oh, bruv. But you skipped. We skipped the flinch.
Oh, sorry. He does get flinched.
Oh man.
And then it happens again.
Another Rock Slide. Oh.
Terra Blast. The Terra Rock is actually a really interesting idea. Oh my god. Okay, so that's already, what is that, a less than 9% chance for Articuno to get flinched twice there.
Yeah.
So it's definitely off to an unfortunate start. I don't really know if there's anything Jesse could have done in that situation to prevent what just happened. What?
Honestly, I think his play was so good. I'm sure that Articuno was packing Tailwind, so a quick Terra Ground so that you can't get Thunder Waved into a Tailwind just to, get the burning or get the gouging fire faster than everything. I mean, that would have been a great turn 1. Even a
Yes.
great turn 2, but
And Darm is really frail. It probably can't survive a Brave Bird. My Articuno is really weak, but it definitely can't survive 2. Thunderous actually can't hit Articuno very well post Terra Ground. I know it does get coverage moves, but they're, no stab, a lot weaker. The Tailwind would have been nice. You get flinched there. That's just how it goes sometimes, but it always feels pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, if Dragapult's in the back too, you're not even helping yourself, because unless you're Scarf Dragapult, which is a miserably hard situation, this thing is just gonna Scarf Icicle Crash you turn 1 unless you Terra. I don't know. It doesn't show the Terra types for some reason. Well, it does. I just don't know what order they're in. Oh, I do, because they go in order. Articuno is Terra Ground, and Dragapult is Terra Fairy. So you're not even handling the ice situation right there. And now you're paralyzed.
I'm gonna Thunder Wave.
And Rock Slided.
Others. So.
And flinched. Okay.
Oh no.
And paralyzed.
Paralyzed.
So, I mean, we're hitting like obscene levels of bad luck. You have a 30% chance to be paralyzed every time. We're at 0.3 cubed, and Rock Slide can miss. So whatever the chances of Rock Slide missing, and on top of that, Jesse is getting horrifically unlucky.
3 straight turns of complete immobility and a Pokemon down. I mean, he hasn't gained any forward progress at all. The only thing Linnos has had to do is expend Terra.
Yes. And I don't even know if he necessarily needed to do that. I mean, it got rid of Burning Bulwark, but there's a chance he could have gotten flinched. I think it was the right play, but it didn't even guarantee that Jesse was going to get out of it if he didn't. Okay.
Decent para.
Rock
Slide decent
again.
Protect there.
He misses the Focus Blast, and he gets the Tailwind.
So honestly, 4 turns later, we're where we should have been. Turn 1.
Jesse is running
Big Rock Slide.
Ridiculously cold, slow Articuno. So it's still slower than Darm, and misses Sheer Cold, and Keldeo is paralyzed, and it's getting Rock Slide. Linnos has not missed any Rock Slides.
We do hit Brawl Sheer Cold. And you know what? That's all that really matters. Okay. Combine Keldeo, though, decently positioned.
And there's the Rock Slide miss. Can he ice Freeze Dry? That's not going to kill? Dude, Articuno sucks. It's also crazy.
He lives. Come on, he lives that. In a Vacuum Wave? Oh. Actually insane.
It's
all right.
Wild.
Now, do you think a Vacuum Wave kills Darmanitan here?
A Vacuum Wave? Yes, 100%. Stab Vacuum Wave off a Calm Mind boost. I feel like the reason you asked me is we'll never get to know. But let's find out.
We'll never get to know.
Okay.
Because you don't get to know.
You don't get to know. But I feel like it would have. I mean, it doesn't matter. Raichu's going to kill its game.
I'd say take it down to slow speed this time.
Okay. So I'm going to start it back up again. Let me pause after the leads, and we can talk about this some. So Jesse has, I think, gone with what I was talking about the first game. Linnos has led this horribly annoying Thunder Wave Rock Slide situation. I also want to throw out that Garchomp only Rock Slid that entire game too, which is crazy because it gets to ground in a fighting type. Oh man.
We've been here before. That's all I'll say. We've been here and in this situation before. I don't know what we expected when we voted Linnos in as the Marquee. I mean, like, shame on us, I suppose.
So, but the number one way to stop this situation from happening is to gain some level of speed control on Linnos' team, and then you don't have to deal with the flinches. Unfortunately, Thundurus makes it very difficult to gain speed control because he can Thunder Wave everything. Articuno should have been able to get Tailwind up last game, but even if it gets Tailwind up, Thundurus is still going to T-Wave Articuno's partner every turn, and then you're still stuck in this like para-flinch situation. I agree with Jesse that it's better to try to get Trick Room up, Bronzong can definitely live at Thunderbolt plus whatever Darmanitan has. Unless it's... I think this does get Flare Blitz. So it might not live
It
Flare Blitz
does.
plus T-Bolt.
1,000,000,000% it gets Flare Blitz, which is so weird, but it's because its counterpart is the Fire Ice type.
Yes. So, Linnos, I would say, is encouraged to not just go for Rock Slide here. I mean, maybe you go for Paralyze, Bronzong, and Rock Slide. But if
Try and get
Bronzong
Pair Flinch on him.
yeah, if Bronzong gets Trick Room up, Linnos' team, like we saw last time, is very fast, and Jesse's going to gain a lot, like speed control on it. Gouging Fire one-hit kills Darmanitan. Probably, I don't know if it one-hit kills Garchomp. I'm going to say yes because it's running booster attack, but I'm not sure.
Now, even if the Trick Room does go up, we have Linnos on the other side with Jellicent, who can easily 1v1 this Bronzong and can get Trick Room back off the field again.
Yes.
So it's not even really guaranteed 100% to like stay up, but it's definitely a lot nicer to put Linnos in a bit of a bind because he can't just paraflinch his way to the top.
Yes, it definitely handles the current situation at least. Like you were saying, if Jellicent comes in, the situation gets pretty bad again. But last game he didn't even bring Jellicent, and plenty of players go for the strategy where it's like, okay, I just won with this game one. I won pretty easily game one. Let's bring the same four. Why get crazy and ruin my working strategy? Especially with the same leads. So I guess we'll see how this plays out. I'll positive something crazy happens. So
we get the immediate Flare Blitz Oko.
Okay.
Of
Okay.
What?
So I know this situation is
The
bad.
Shinotic appearance.
I cannot believe it's okay. You know how you had Swoobat a few years ago, and its shiny was piss yellow and poop brown? How has Shinotic joined Swoobat in this horrible shiny?
Because they know. They're like, you know what? This is going to be a shit Pokemon. So we're going to give it the color palette that immediately reflects that. They even gave her a diaper as well, which she has maybe shit.
That is rough. So let me see where Shinotic is. Shinotic is running Terra Fairy. Obviously, Linnos, there's a good chance that it just Flare Blitzes Shinotic again, especially because he doesn't have a Terra type that gets out of the fire weakness. But the best thing about Jesse's position right here is that Gouging Fire is so well positioned. Thundurus and Darmanitan, now that Darmanitan's locked into Flare Blitz, I mean, they can't really hit him very well. I mean, Thundurus can paralyze him, but like we were talking about,
which is really tough. Makes it tough for later in the match.
Yeah, but
it
at least is able to act unfettered right now.
And who knows? Shinotic might even have a Focus Sash as well to like get a Spore off potentially or something like that.
Yes, I don't know what Jesse has in the back either. But if we're seeing Shinotic come in against this Flare Blitz Darmanitan, that just OHKO'd to Bronzong, by the way, a super bulky Pokemon, Shinotic will die to this Flare Blitz if it's not Focus Sash. It makes you wonder what Pokemon he has that he was preferring Shitnotic over the alternatives. But
or just sacrifice this poor thing.
But we will see. So we're getting the Rock Terra. I think that's a good Terra type.
Terra Rock.
Resist the Flare Blitz. And you get the Stab Terra Blast. Oh! So...
Dragon Dance.
This is a really cool situation, actually. So, obviously... Linnos can't just swing into Gouging Fire anymore. He has to paralyze it. Oh no, I think I just realized how this game's gonna end, isn't it? Oh wait. Jesse still has his Terra type. I feel like for Linnos, the obvious play here is Paralyze Gouging Fire and Flare Blitz Articuno.
It's quite possible that even if Articuno tears out of the weakness, it still dies to a Flare Blitz. Not Stab, but Choice Band off that Darmanitan attack. I mean, it's just going to be doing so much.
She's not that bulky. Is this banded? I'm pretty sure it's Scarfed, right?
Oh, but Guerrilla Tactics does both at once.
Oh my goodness, yeah, yeah, yeah. You said the
Oh,
banded. I mean, this Pokemon is just ridiculous.
it's silly. It's 100% silly.
It's kind of hard to set up, but when it gets in situations where it can, um, like, act like this and get Flare Blitzes off, its attack stat, I think, is something like 250 when you count the Choice Band.
And then, like, might as well just go ahead and make it 1.5 times faster as well, because you're stuck in that.
Yeah.
Unless you're crazy like Trashbot and you decide to say, you know what? More power.
Yeah, Zen mode is crazy. Alright, I'll start it back up. You got the Ground Terra. Oh,
The Bulwark,
I think this is
actually, not a
a
bad play.
mistake on Jesse's part. Unless you're predicting that he is also going to Terra, like we were seeing here, Darmanitan is going to be fat. Oh, Darmanitan can't hit Gouging Fire. It's not a big deal. This is a quad resisted move at this point. And I think you really want to get rid of the Thunderous as soon as possible. Do you think Dragon Claw Oko's Flare Blitz certainly does if he has it? No, it doesn't. He's Terra
No,
Rock.
it
My
doesn't
bad.
because he's resist. So I don't think Dragonclaw does.
That's rough.
Well, he's booster attack too, so it actually might. I forgot it's 1.3 and 1.5, so it's a substantial damage boost.
Yeah, it's just
I don't know.
I would have attacked here, but now that we've talked about it, it's kind of a hard situation. Maybe you're trying to get Articuno to Tailwind, and then it can attack Thunderous alongside you next turn, or you're attacking with Articuno here to get some chip damage so you can guaranteed kill it. I don't know, but we'll hit the play button and figure it out. That still did 70. This Pokemon is crazy.
Does live. He had to try for the sheer gold. That goes completely wasted, unfortunately. Even though she did hit.
It is insane. There's so much to unwrap here. First of all, it's crazy that Flare Blitz still did 70% to this Pokemon, which Articuno's famous for being bulky but weak.
On the physical side, really.
Oh, really? I thought it was like 100 on both or something like that, but I could be
special, it's like 130. I think physical is like 80.
Okay. That explains that then. Second of all, it's insane that Jesse went for sheer cold here.
Oh, no. You have to see inside of his mind here, right? That's an immediate kill if it hits.
That is an
Unless you use
immediate
it
kill.
on Darmanitan.
And for some reason, Jesse seems to hit them every time. I feel like we need to check his hardware. Third of all, did anyone know that sheer cold doesn't work on ice types? Because I didn't.
Yeah. Yes, because once upon a time when I was playing Ruby and Sapphire at Sapphire, I wanted to go and do a Walrein Ditto with what's her face, the Laurel. No, not Lorelei.
Glacia.
Glacia. Dude, I was like, this Pokemon is so cool, and it just kills my Pokemon in one hit. I'm gonna do that to her, and then that's when I figured it out.
Wow.
It does not work on other ice types. They're already too cold.
It is insane that I'm still learning things about this game this deep into my career. But I can't believe Articuno just hit another raw sheer cold. Jesse's success rate on these sheer colds is insane.
I think we need
even though it didn't hit.
We need like a leaderboard for that, I would say.
Well, I mean, the game's just over now. You can't come back. You get
really unfortunate.
The Terra Blast. Funny message from Jesse. I have learned a lot from this match. Skinner with an adequate use of the colon too. We love to see it. You know, I don't have a crazy amount to say about the game.
It was a pretty straightforward match for the most part. First one, very unfortunate. A lot of RNG happened there. Second match definitely came down to Darmanitan with Flare Blitz and that being a Levitate Bronzong, unfortunately.
Yes. I think no one brought anything that was that wacky other than sheer cold Articuno.
That's happening every week. I don't even know how wacky it is.
Yeah, I mean it's losing its wackiness factor by the day. But I mean, obviously in game one, Jesse got astronomically unlucky. When you run into Paraflinch, you kind of have to cross your fingers. Once you get put in that cycle, like I was saying, the number one way to get around it is move first, find some way to do it. But without Bronzong to set Trick Room, there's not a great way to do so. Especially finding out that a lot of Jesse's team was outsped by Scarf Darmanitan even when Tailwind was up. So
I do also want to, yeah, I want to commend Linnos too for his. I mean, like I do think the Terra Rock Thunderous, you mentioned that. It's a really good Terra type, I would say, for Thunderous, especially into Jesse. Like, you know, hits some very key threats that he has a tough time getting at normally, and giving him that Terra Blast to sort of power through. I think that's really solid. And Darmanitan just in general is an insane Pokemon. And, you know, getting it faster than everything and playing for the flinches and the paras like he does, you know, I think he knew what he needed to do and he got it done.
yeah, it's really interesting. I don't know if I would ever have gone for Terra Rock on Thunderous, even though it showed to be really effective this game, because the number one Terra type to beat electric Pokemon like Thunderous is Terra Ground, and Rock is also bad into Terra Ground. So you're doubling up on your offensive problem, but it did allow him to hit Gouging Fire, which Thunderous would normally struggle to do. So it ended up being more effective than I could have imagined, and it was a great choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't really have too much more to say about that.
Yeah, I guess
But
we can close it here, and I will find out if the Mewmore Lake Pokemon remix that I've been playing in the background overpowered our voices this entire time.
I thought it was so pleasant. I felt like I was at a coffee shop having a chat.
Yeah. This is our first time doing not live commentary like this. I hope it turned out okay. If any league members watch this, give us some feedback. Let us know how it goes. We'll go ahead and sign off, unless you have any final comments, Jack.
Yeah, thanks very much, Cam.
Have a good one.